We're still here. We're still painting. We are still giving it everything we got each and every single day. This painting has taken a toll on my abilities, but I continue to push forward and strive because that's just the person that I am. And I like to think that I'm figuring it out still. Yeah, I'm figuring it out still. We've come a long way. I've been working on this 8 or so months, I believe, and we're making good progress. So at this point, it's going to take me a year to finish, and I'm okay with that. The waves, these waves, I know I've been saying that since I started, but these waves, oh my God. Well, we're moving. I have a lot of plans this year for my paintings, art shows, showcases, and getting in some galleries. Those are really my only goals. Everything else is personal development, which is like a daily thing for me. Staying grounded, affirming, praying, and giving it all to God, because that's all you can do at the end of the day. And so we'll continue to do that this year. I was very quiet in 2025 while I adjusted to this new life out here in Texas. But this year, I see no need to be quiet. I feel the need to express and get my voice back out there. So that's one thing I will be doing this year, is just getting back out there. You know, it can feel kind of shaky and weird because, you know, when you separate yourself from the outside world, the internet, and things that are going on, and you really focus internally on what's going on in your life, things change, and you never really go backwards. You always move forward and figure out how to adjust. So that's what I'm doing now, and I will say life is beautiful. One thing that I always say, and the greatest piece of advice I've always gotten, was to just keep going. Keep going. That's all you can do at the end of the day. And the paintings are getting better. I got ideas for these other smaller ones that I'll be working on. I'm really only, it's 2026, and really maybe almost 5 years in, but again, those first couple years was me just learning what a good painting even looks like. So stay tuned. Phases of You and Me will continue until we finish this thing, and we'll see you guys at the finish line. There's a time when things change. Growth may also occur. The moment is pressing. The blessing is present. In comes acceptance. To be or not to be. It's destined. Guided by spirit. Walking with light. Dark in the distance. Lonely at night. Alive. Awoken with life. Led by love. Beauty of plight. Wind blows. Momentum shifts. Clear view. Window lifts. Door closed. Window missed. Clarity from abyss. The relief is immense. Trust and let go. Flow. What makes you you? What gives you purpose? What leads you to your destiny? What leaves you stagnant? These are questions that I ask myself every day. How do you define change in life? Is it monetary gain, or is the wisdom applied? These are questions that you must ask yourself every day. It's easy to become lost in this world. It's also hard to dig yourself out of that hole. It's like an abyss, a bottomless pit. I've made it through the rain. I've overcome my pain. I don't live in shame, but still I remain. I remain a man of God, man of faith, a man of dignity, A man who once wore his pride on his sleeve, but now I believe we're all destined to be something more than what we can even understand from our own comprehension. Outside of this dimension, this domain, some things change, some things remain the same. But here I am, adapting to the change. Future Dominique here, giving you guys a rundown of what was taking place while I was painting these next few clips. I had a montage plan, which is still kind of a montage, but I'm just going to be talking through it, walking you through some of my brain work. So this clip is me going through. I had already went through with the paint thinner and erased some of the mistakes I made. And a big thing I did, which was very helpful, I ran my current progress through ChatGPT to kind of help me out a little bit, a little cheat, and it really worked in my favor. One thing it showed me is that the water was sitting on top of the highlights instead of the highlights sitting on top of the water. So I basically put too much yellow in there, so I had to go through, erase it, figure out what I was going to do moving forward, and it was very helpful. And in this clip, I decided to add some white in there so I can see the reflection a lot better. It helped me get a basis going again, and I kind of I stuck with it basically throughout. My orange hues they started out great, but the more you paint over certain things, and if you don't layer it right, the color just gets darker or lighter depending on how deep you're going. But I will say, going back through with the white and the yellow really made it look more visually pleasing and just more true, more accurate. Okay, so by this point, I'm just going all the way down, filling in the yellow accurately, mixing in some white in there to kind of give it a good balance. At the same time, I'm going through with the orange that I mixed up and kind of making the shadows get lighter and lighter as I go down. Also went back in with a darker hue of blue to kind of give those shadows some more depth and really iron out what I'm trying to accomplish. One thing I want to know too, this is obviously when you mix blue with yellow, you get green. And that is the last color that I want on this canvas. So I've had to take my time, let the yellow fully dry before I start going back in there with those blues, because that really messed me up early on, like big time. Another day, back at it again. It's starting to pop, especially toward the top of the canvas where that reflection starts. Again, at this point, I'm taking my time. I'm seeing it through. I'm letting the yellow fill out while I go back in there with some orange hues. Letting those three colors blend really helps me give the edge of the painting where the reflection kind of points out toward the blue. Really letting that feather off that's been key in trying to get this thing back on track. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were definitely made, and I'm just gonna be completely honest about that, because you want it to fade gradually toward the bottom, and that's when I have to mix in some white in there to make that orange get lighter and lighter as it gets closer to the platform. And it's just challenging because I want the shadows, the orange shadows and the yellows to match the platform, but I did that platform over a white canvas, and obviously those are brighter colors, those are more vibrant. And so again, another thing I learned. And eventually I'll go back over that platform with another hue of orange just to kind of make it balance the colors of the water reflection a bit more, but we'll do that toward the end. back at it again, another day. Where we at this day? Yeah, I kind of just attacked it this day. Those yellows were filling in well, and it was balancing out a little more. But toward the top, I was still struggling because at the very top there was like a layer of blue, then there was another layer of yellow, and then I went back over with the orange, and by that point I had a very deep orange at the top, and it just God, it was wrecking my brain. I was trying to figure out what was wrong, but yeah, it's just a part of the process.